So this is our first video, Unit 1, Module 1. We're solving systems by graphing. So by the end of this video, you'll be able to calculate the solution to a system of equations by graphing, and then apply that solution to a situation using these systems of equations. So the first thing you need to know is what is a system of linear functions or equations. So a system is a set of functions. So a set meaning two or more with two or more unknowns. So typically, we'll be working with two functions or two equations, but we could be working up to 3, 4, whatever. But however many functions we use, we have to have that many unknowns or variables. So there are multiple methods that we use to solve linear functions, but the first method we use is graphing. It's the most imprecise one, and we don't get exact answers all the time. So graphing is usually the fallback one. And oftentimes it's only using a calculator when we use this. But to solve by graphing, the first step is to get both equations into slope-intercept form. You might know this form as y equals mx plus b. So that is slope-intercept form. So we need to get it into slope-intercept form. Step 2, graph both equations. And then the third and final step is to find the intersection. The intersection is what we call the common point. What is common about both of those functions or equations? What point do they share? So, looking at these first 3 examples, the first one might be written a little bit differently, but whenever you see something like that, it's the same as writing -1/3x plus 1. The second equation would be then y equals 1/2 x minus 4. So we start by graphing both of these equations. So just like any graph, I'm going to begin with my line-intercept, and then I'm going to use my rise over 1, down 1/3, down 1/3, and I'm going to graph that line. Now I graph the second one, so I go down to -4, I go up 1/2, and I continue that slope until I hit the other line. And what you will see is that they cross right there. So the solution to this is actually a point. The point is going to be 6, -1. What is that point where they cross? In the second example, I have to put the 2/1. There's a magical 1 there. I again start at -2, which is my y-intercept. I go up 2/1, up 2/1, up 2/1. I try to create as many points as possible because that will tell me where the intersection is. For my second one, you have to remember that this is also equal to -1x plus 4. there is a -1 in front of that negative x sign. So after I start at 4, I'm going to go down 1 to the right 1, down 1 to the right 1. And you'll see that they cross at 2, 2, the point. Now you could also write the solution as x equals 2, y equals 2. That is also a solution. Same way, this first example could be written as x equals 6, y equals -1. You write it as that. So oftentimes the point is easier. For the third equation, they're not written in y equals mx plus b form. So if I am solving these, I have to solve for y. So I'm not going to touch y. So I'm going to subtract 2x on both sides. I'm going to be left with a negative y. Remember that minus sign comes with the y. Negative 2x plus 6. Because the 6 and the 2x are unlike terms. And then I have to remember that there's a -1 there. So I'm going to have to divide by -1 to all of them. The -1's cancel. Y equals a negative divided by a negative is a positive 2x minus 6. Because that's a negative. Now for the second equation. I then still do not touch the y, so I'm going to subtract an x. I'm going to be left with 2y equals negative x minus 2. I then divide each one of these by 2 to get y equals, I add the 1 in front of the x, negative 1/2 x minus 1. So now I have enough information to graph both of them. So I'm going to go down 6, and then up 2 over 1 to create those points for my first equation. I'm going to go down 1, and then go down 1, right 2. And have my second equation, and I now have my solution to -2. So those are the basic functions. So I'm going to solve for y equals mx plus b, graph them, and find where they cross. Now there's 3 different ways you can get answers. You can get intersecting lines, which means there's exactly one solution. So what point do they have in common? It's the one where they cross. Sometimes you end up with the same equation when you solve for y equals mx plus b. So they have all of these points in common because they're the same line. So that's where we have infinitely many solutions. And then the last one is when we have parallel lines where they never cross, so there's no solution. So those are the types of solutions that you're going to get. Most typically, you're going to get exactly one solution. So you're asking, where am I ever going to use this? Well, the most common example is when you are pricing things out. So in this example, we're pricing things out for a gym. So there are 2 gyms that offer memberships. So the first gym offers $120 one-time membership fee plus $10 per month, while gym B offers no membership fee and then $20 per month. So oftentimes, people will think, well, gym B is a better price because I don't have to pay $120 right up front. While some other might say, well, gym A is better because I'm paying less over time. So let's start analyzing the situation. The first thing we can do is we can actually make an equation out of gym A. So the one-time membership fee is like my B. It's my y-intercept. It's where I'm starting. And then my $10 per month is my slope, is my M. So that's what's changing. So I could write this as y equals 10x plus 120. I'm going to start off at $120, but then I'm going to add $10 per month. While Gym B does have any membership fee, so that's 0, and then my slope is 20. So that would be y equals 20x, and then plus 0, but I don't write it. So those are my two equations, and I can start analyzing this situation. Mark's father is stationed on a naval submarine base for the next 9 months. Okay? Which gym should they choose? Well, all that means is that I'm going x equals 9. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to plug it in. So for the first equation, it would be 10 times 9 plus the 120. So $10 for 9 months is 90 bucks plus 120 bucks. For Gym A, I would pay a total of $210. While for Gym B, I would just pay $20 for that 9 months, which would be $180. So Gym B is better because I'm paying less money for it. But now we go and we look at a different situation where Jose is planning to go to college for 4 years, which means X in this case is 48 months. So now what are the prices? Well, 10 times 48 plus 120, well, that's 480 plus 120, which is $600 for Gym A, which doesn't seem like that much. While for Gym B, it's 20 times 480, which is $960. That's a lot of money to put out for a gym membership. So I would go with Gym A. Even though it costs more in the beginning, over the long run, it's going to cost less. So the next part is, for how many months would it be best to join Gym A? When is it going to be best to join Gym B? And there's a couple ways we can start doing this. Number one is we can use a table. So we know, and I'm going to start at 9 months, because we know at 9 months, Gym A costs $210. And for 9 months, Gym B costs $180. So all we're going to do is we're going to count the months. So this, I'm going to just keep adding. The $10 per month. While in here, I'm going to add $20 per month. So you can see that at a year, they are exactly equal. That is the point that they have in common. So after that point, Gym A gets better pricing, and Gym B gets more expensive. So when is it better for Gym A? Gym A is if you're going to be there for more than a year. And when is it better for Gym B? When you're going to be there for less than a year. If you're going to be there for exactly a year, it doesn't matter which gym you join, because that is the same thing. The other way we can do this is using a graph. So if we count the months, and then we count the money paid, Gym A starts all the way up here, but then rises relatively slowly. While Gym B starts really low, but you can tell is going up $20 per month, it rises quicker. So every time, and for every point that the Gym B, the green line, is below the purple line, that's a better deal for Gym B. While after that point, after that intersection point, it gets better to be at Gym A. And that's how you would answer all of the rest of these questions. Please complete the rest of the practice and come in the next class with any questions. Thank you.